this is JP from Penn Flooring here in Ocala. I would like to invite you to come in and visit our spacious showroom where we have solutions for every style and budget. From wall-to-wall carpet to hardwood floors and tiles, we have an unsurpassed selection of flooring. At Penn Flooring, we've provided quality customer service with a family touch for over 25 years. Visit our website at pennflooring.com or come by our showroom, 1201 Southwest 17th Street, just over the bridge. Penn Flooring, quality customer service with a family touch.
Ocala's information station, 1370 WOCA.
Ocala.
All right, 5 minutes after 9 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. You ever find yourself in one of those internet rabbit holes? You go on YouTube and you're looking at a video, and next thing you know, you're looking at another one that there's some kind of a connection to, and it goes on from there. Well, this happened to me yesterday, and the rabbit hole that I went down that I didn't, intend to was this video that this young couple had made about themselves buying this really cool trailer. All right, so they get this really cool trailer, and they have a dog, and they have two young boys, and they can't wait. The young man, the young woman, who are the ones making the video, they can't wait to show the kids and the dog the trailer, and they let, come on, see your new digs. That's the word they use. See your new digs. So the kids going, oh, this is awesome. And, oh, we got a big screen TV. Oh, and the dog comes in there, and I was thinking back. When I was younger and my son was a child still, and the dog was still a young dog, and you think, gosh, those were such exciting days. That's the biggest blessing of my life, was having those days. And one of the things I remember loving, and I hope that this has contributed to my son's appreciation of reading. Mm-hmm. We used to take children's books when he was real little. And read them in bed, and I've said this before, that it is truly one of my fondest memories, and I didn't even know when it was happening that one day I would be saying what I'm saying now about those days, because back then it was just, you did it, you went and you laid down in bed and you got a cool book. The only time I read children's books these days, yes, two ways. Either we have a guest who has written one, or I find them on the table, like at a doctor's office or something, or like at the laundromat or something, right?
Yeah.
The book that we're going to talk about is called The Good Dog. And if I had found this at the laundromat, yes, I would have read the whole thing. Todd Kessler is on the phone. He wrote this book, and he is, if he doesn't mind me saying this, a master storyteller. This is a wonderful story.
Yes.
It really is.
Amazing. Extremely good.
Beautiful illustrations. This is really, how do I say this? This is, and I promise, Todd, I know you're listening. I'm not saying this because you're listening. I really think this is a couple of notches above most of the children's books that I've seen. I don't even know how to explain why I feel that. You know why? Because there's a moment of tension in here, in this book. Mm-hmm. That doesn't normally happen in children's books. Yeah. I can imagine the child, as the dad or the mom is reading the books, like, oh my gosh, that can't happen.
Right.
So that's what a good storyteller can do. Todd has so many credentials. The one that we keep talking about is the fact, as we were promoting his appearance today, is the fact that he's the guy who created Blue's Clues. He's also deemed the David E. Kelly of children's television by the New York Times. He's the co-creator of the Blue's Clues show. He's the recipient of the Peabody Award, 2 Television Critics Association Awards. It goes on and on and on. Good morning, Todd. Thank you for being on the show with us today.
It's great to be here.
Where are you?
I'm actually in New York City. I did two things. I did a reading at a large Barnes & Noble here, but also my daughter lives here, and she just had a baby. So we have a 4-day-old new member of the family.
Oh, wow. Congratulations.
Good for you.
Thank you.
So, okay, so you read this. So did the children, when you get to, I don't want to give away too much of the story, but the story is, it's a good dog who's not so good, right?
Yeah.
And he almost has to...
Well, at times, he's like any
right.
preschooler. He's good some of the time, but not all the time.
Right, but except the difference is the preschooler you won't send off to the pound.
No.
No, yeah.
Right.
No, but you'll send them to the pound in the they would when they're bad there are some consequences, not quite as big as the dog, but there's always consequences.
So when you read the book out loud, you're the creator of this story, and you're reading it to an audience of children. That's got to be very rewarding, because I'm sure you can kind of look up with your peripheral or over the top of your glasses or however you read, and you can see that the tension at that point in the story, right?
Yeah, and sometimes when I read it, I pause at certain key points and ask the kids, what they think. I ask, whether they think that that Taco, the puppy in the story, is good or if he's being bad. And it's interesting. You have differing opinions in the middle of the story.
Do you know what I like too? I like the fact that this is wordy. I don't want to scare anybody off. This is a children's book, so it's not wordy like a Harry Potter book, but it's more words than normal children's books. And you have names and words that the children will learn probably for the first time. Pritchard is not a word you would normally see in a children's book, right? So I
You don't talk down to children.
We actually have teacher materials and curriculum materials on our website. It's actually proving in schools to be a book that reading teachers and reading specialists like, because even though there is a fair amount of text, there's not a lot of text per page. It's just got a lot of pages, and on each page the text is supported by illustrations. So that if you're a struggling reader or a learning, a reader, you're just at that point, you can have success reading the book and understand the whole story, even if you didn't quite get all of the words.
Absolutely.
You instill curiosity between your pages too, and that's pretty fascinating, not just for words, but for what's going on in the illustrations.
What was the question?
When we're reading the book, you allow the reader to become very curious about what's going on next, especially when you see the illustrations. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's storytelling. This book, has a 3-act structure and a real villain, which is something that I think is missing from a lot of books today. Everybody, there's a tendency to want things to be nice for your kids and not to expose them to some of the darker elements. But interestingly enough, when I get to the end of the story, when I read it to kids and I ask who is your favorite character, a majority of the kids, especially the younger ones, say Taco the puppy is the protagonist is their favorite. But always a good percentage. 20-25% of the kids say that their favorite character is the villain, and there's no redeeming qualities to him, but I think they appreciate the excitement and the the story of taking him down, and they just appreciate the fact that they that those kinds of struggles are in their actual lives, and they rarely get a story that deals with it.
Yeah. And we have a school in St. Augustine, not too far from here. It's a school for blind children. One of the things that we've heard from them, years ago, Robert and I used to do children's shows. This is how I know this. And one of the things that we also would do is we would read the newspaper for the blind on cassette tapes. That's how long ago this was, when cassette tapes were still used.
Exactly.
But anyway, what I'm getting at is that the school would often say that the children's books that they prefer are the ones that are wordier. And in your book, in other words, your book could pass their test. The illustrations are beautiful and very charming. I love the illustrations. So I hope Jennifer Gray Olson is the illustrator.
Yes, it's fabulous. She did a fabulous job.
Absolutely, but just so I can make this point, the book would work at the school in St. Augustine. The children would be able to see it with their mind's eye. I think is probably the way to say that.
Right. They could have, and kids are. I think there have been studies which have been done recently that one of the things that helps strengthen a kid's mind is the ability is storytelling, is the ability to imagine characters as they in situations and places as they read. There's actually been studies done on it.
And you don't talk down to children in your book. You treat them as equals, and that's one of the most fabulous things about what you've written.
I think it's always been with Blue's Clues. We always wanted. I did not. My rule was you couldn't speak to kids in little squeaky voices. We would only speak to them as you'd speak to an adult in a respectful a normal tone.
Todd Kessler is our guest. His book is called The Good Dog. Sometimes the bad dogs turn out to be the best.
Yeah.
It's a wonderfully written story. Todd, can we ask you to hang on while we take a break, and we'll be right
Sure.
back? Okay, we will be back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. It'll be breezy and cooler on this Monday with sunshine and a few clouds. Highs in the mid-60s to low 70s. And partly cloudy tonight, lows ranging from 44 in the coldest inland spots to 61 at the coast. Times of clouds and sun tomorrow. There may be a shower along the coast, the high 69 to 73. Wednesday, times of sun and clouds and breezy with a couple of showers around high 76 to 80. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
What you may have missed on the John Tesh Radio Show.
It's not just about squeezing a couple of lemon slices into hot or cold water. We need to grate it in a half teaspoon of lemon zest. Boredom and excess energy are the causes of many pet behavior problems. So if your dog's chewing furniture or barking excessively, try taking them outside for an hour a day. You can raise your chances a recruiter will contact you by 1,000% by posting links to industry news on your LinkedIn page at least once a week.
Intelligence for your life on the John Tesh Radio Show. Don't miss this stuff.
Keep up with what's going on in the downtown area with Ocala Downtown Newspaper. Delivering thousands of newspapers to businesses in the downtown area, Ocala Downtown is there to keep you informed. They even have Tom's Picks, a free referral for people who are looking for a company to do work for them. Tom's Picks will refer the company that fits your needs, and all we ask in return is that you tell them where you heard about it. It's simple. For more info, just call Tom's Picks, 352-804-1223, and pick up your copy of the Downtown Ocala newspaper today.
Now read Ocala Downtown Newspaper online.
Do you have areas that have started sagging or drooping? Is what you're looking at not quite the same as it was years ago? Are there enhancements you've been putting off? Is there serious damage you need fixed? Then call on us, Damage Control Services, when your roof is sagging and the drywall is drooping after a storm, or your home just needs some enhancements. From damage repairs to new construction, Damage Control Services is here to help.
17 minutes after 9 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. Todd Kessler is on the phone. He has a new book called The Good Dog. Sometimes the bad dogs turn out to be the best. This Thursday, Thanksgiving, you're probably going to be hanging out with some children in your family that maybe you don't see but once a year.
Yeah.
Be cool to go there and be the uncle that shows up now and then and bring a book like this. I just think it'd be so awesome. Todd, one of the things in the material that was sent to me as a suggested talking point was a child's the myth that a child has the inability to have a long attention span, that they've all got short attention spans. And so I wanted to ask you your thoughts on that. But my thought real quickly is this. I think adults have short attention spans.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a myth or not, but that's in my opinion. I think if you have a good story, a child will want you to never stop.
Yeah. And that was my my point of view with Blue's Clues when we started Blue's Clues. The going myth in the television industry was that every children's preschool television show had to follow the Sesame Street format, which was a magazine format, which was 3-minute segments. And the theory was, well, children can't sit still for more than 3 minutes. And I firmly believe that if you tell them a good story, they'll sit still for a long time. And so Blue's Clues was a continuous 25-minute narrative, and we ended up with higher attention testing of preschoolers than Sesame Street.
I love that.
You actually spoke to a lot of children when you embarked on this endeavor. You really have this great rapport with them, and you actually carried on conversations with them about their interests.
Yeah, and showed them a rough version of the book. I actually had a teacher, a first grade teacher, read the book aloud before we had any illustrations and get their comments. So it's always great to hear what they have to say, and it always shapes your thinking a little bit about it. And strangely, in publishing today, there's a lot of children's books being made, but there's, as far as I know, nowhere in the publishing process of the big publishers where they actually ask children what they think.
And you have taken liberties with this, because if people are expecting this to be Blue's Clues, it's not really.
No, it's not at all. No, it was its own story, and it found it, as stories do, that it found its own format, and it seemed to work best in a book, and that's where it's living now.
There's a pizza place we go to sometimes for lunch because it's close to the station, and it's kind of like a Chuck E. Cheese. It's called Stevie B's. I don't know if you have them in New York, but anyway, the point is, it's probably the only place I ever see cartoons because because I go there for the pizza, but it's really a children's place, and they've got cartoons on, and I've noticed that in cartoons, the ones that are on the TV in there anyway, it's like slapstick, the entire cartoons, like they're bumping their head, they're tripping and things like that. In your story, you have, real deeper thoughts than that. It's not just about bumping your head and woo, falling down a hole and all kinds of stuff like that. I can really see this being made into a movie or some kind of a visual.
Right.
Yeah. Any plans for that?
Well, one of my dreams is to do this as a Broadway musical.
Oh, wouldn't that be fun? Wouldn't that be fun?
I think kids, kids love live experiences. That's what, the parent-child experience. Reading the book is a live experience, but I would love to do it into some kind of stage. And I'm actually working on the second book, which is called The Good Dog and the Bad Cat, which will be out in May, which is also deals with the same characters. And I would love to merge those two stories into a longer format a theater production.
That will be absolutely amazing, because the only way the children can know if they like something or not is to actually experience it firsthand. And I did that with my two children growing up, and I took them to the opera, I took them to a rock concert, I took them to, a play, art shows, things like that. And that's the only way in my mind that children can learn on their own what they like or don't like.
Yeah. They love live experiences and the ability to laugh and applaud and kind of have their voice be heard. And I think the screen stuff is great, and the games are great, and a lot of television is great. But still, it's a different experience, and they also, crave a live experience.
Getting blamed for something you didn't do is another theme in the book. I wonder how many children will say, that happened to me.
Yeah, right.
Of course, it's a common theme, and just by the laws of chance, you do so many things in a day as a child. It's inevitable that some of them are going to be misunderstood. And my question to parents is, we expect our children to follow the rules and be obedient, but when our children grow up, when they're adults, we expect them to use their own sense of reason. If as an adult we stop at a red light and the red light's broken, we don't expect them to wait there for 2 days until it changes, even though the rule is you can't go through it.
Right.
We expect them to use their common sense. So my question for in raising children is, at what point do you want your child? Do you lead your child away from being the person who always follows every rule to being a thinking, reasoning person that you want your adult child to be? And there has to be some kind of transition, and my book deals with some of those questions of when do you exercise your own judgment, even if it might not exactly follow the rules.
Do you know, I've noticed something about adults talking about children, is that if the adult has children or has had children, they will often refer to their memories of their children. People who don't have children will often refer to their memories of themselves as children. Mm-hmm. For example, this time of year, Thanksgiving, Robin is remembering times when she was with her family and her children. I'm doing the same thing. And meanwhile, other friends we have who never have had children, maybe they're too young or maybe they just chose not to, but their recollections are from themselves. So, and I said all that to ask this question. When you write for children, do you draw from your own childhood? Do you draw from your children's childhood, or something, a mix of the two?
Yeah, it's a mix of the two, and I couldn't even begin to pin down exactly where the ideas in this book came from. There's so many of them, but in watching kids, I just did have this question of, we want them to obey and we want them to be good, but kids kids naturally do bad things. It's part of the growing up process. It's a part of testing your limits, and we're, as parents, we're raising kids to be smart and good thinkers and independent.
And this is a message that transcends barriers. When you're writing a book of this caliber, have you had it translated into different languages?
Not yet, but we definitely will. I mean, that's a goal. First, we'll sell it here in the States, but of course, the Spanish version is the next, is the next one. There's been interest from around the world. So hopefully I'll get there. We Jennifer and I created the visuals and the characters to really be universal and international and be understood in every culture. And if you look at the book, it's kind of, because the family comes to a new town and opens up a bakery and they don't really know anyone, it's kind of an immigrant experience as well, which is really common, all around the world. So I'm hoping that kids around the world can identify with it.
The good story, the good news about the good book is that I have a copy here. I'm going to give away. Somebody out there can have it. Call me if you want it. You will love it. A child in your family will love it. I guarantee. If you read this one out loud to a child on Thursday or any day, they will not want you to stop.
Yes.
So call me now, 622-9622, and I'm going to ask Todd to give us information on how the rest of us can buy it. Let me give this one away first. Pick a number between 1 and... Todd, you pick a number. Between 1 and 12.
9.
9. Okay. Boy, it lit up quick. Good morning. You're number 9. You got the book. Who's this?
Awesome. It's Kathy, Larry.
Who is this? Kathy?
Yes.
Okay, Kathy, you got the book.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good book, Todd.
It'll be waiting for you. Thank you.
Great. Enjoy it.
Yeah, I think this is... Wow, that lit up. That was
Yeah.
a lot of okay. So, Todd, how do we get... Do you have a website for the book or for yourself?
Right. The website for the book is tacoandricky.com. It's TAKO and Ricky.com. And the book is available at all Barnes & Noble, at any of your independent local bookstores. Should have it. If they don't have it, they can order it and get it, in a day or so. And of course, it's at any internet, Amazon and any internet outlet as well.
And I really enjoy how you get right to the crux of the personalities in the book, and how you love to instill inquisitiveness in the children and don't rely on scientific studies and facts, because children aren't that. They're not made up of studies.
Yeah, I want to create a great experience for the parent or caretaker and the child reading the book and talking about what's going to happen next and what should he do and why is that guy bad and and how did that happen and all of those things. You just want to have a rich experience for kids.
The only problem I see, if I can just interject one negative thing, is that every kid's going to want a puppy. There's going to be, can we get a puppy?
Yeah.
We already have 6 dogs.
They already do.
I know.
They already do. And if they really want to adopt a puppy, we have Taco Puppets on our website, so they can get close to adopting a puppy.
Taco Puppets.
I love that.
Yeah. Take a look. The puppets that came out, we just got them in. They're really soft, and I love puppets for kids because they can do fantasy play and act out the stories and all of that. So we just got it, and the only place you can get it is on the website.
Well, you just sold some puppets.
Yeah, and that's a way for parents to let their kid have a puppy without it, having that much care.
It's almost spelled the
Have
same.
to walk it.
It almost sounds the same. Puppy, puppet. It's almost the same thing.
Exactly.
Exactly. Yeah.
Todd, thank you so much. That was a wonderful interview. You have crafted a very charming story. It's called The Good Dog for those just tuning in.
And enjoy being a grandfather. Congratulations again. That's so special.
Thank you. It's been wonderful.
What a great interview. Todd, thank you. We'll take a break. We'll be right back.
Fox News Radio, I'm Pat O'Neill. The city of Brussels remains on high alert, with police conducting more raids overnight and making more than 20 arrests.
Police hunt a local man thought to be one of the attackers who hit Paris, but prosecutors saying despite arrests,
Salah Abdeslam is not among the persons arrested during the searches.
Also saying the raids didn't turn up any firearms or explosives.